Hello, dear friend. I'm so glad you're here. You've done enough today. Whatever has been weighing on your heart, whatever tasks remain unfinished, whatever worries have followed you into this quiet hour, they can wait until morning. Right now, in this moment, you are allowed to rest. You are allowed to simply be. Take a soft breath in and let it go. Feel your shoulders drop. Feel the weight of the day begin to slip away like sand through gentle fingers. Tonight, I want to share with you a story, an ancient story. A story about a man named Jonah who also carried burdens, who also felt unsure, who also needed to learn what it meant to rest in something greater than himself. But this isn't a story of fear or judgment. No. Tonight, we're going to walk through this tale together, as if we're strolling through a peaceful dream, where every moment is soft, every scene is bathed in the warm glow of evening light. You are safe here. You are held. And as we journey together through Jonah's story, I hope you'll feel your own heart begin to quiet, your own breathing begin to slow, your own mind begin to drift toward that gentle place of peace and rest. Let's begin. Close your eyes if you haven't already. Imagine with me a land of old where the sun sets in brilliant oranges and deep purples over ancient cities, where oil lamps flicker in windows as families gather for the evening meal, where the air's warm and carries the scent of bread baking and distant flowers. In this land, there lived a man named Jonah. Jonah was a prophet, yes, but tonight we won't think of him that way. Tonight, let's simply think of him as a person, a human being with a tender heart, with fears and hopes, with dreams and doubts. He was someone much like you or me, someone who wanted to do what was right, but sometimes felt too small for the task set before him. Picture Jonah in the evening light, sitting perhaps on a rooftop terrace as the day draws to a close. The stones beneath him still hold the warmth of the sun. In the distance, he can hear children laughing, their voices growing softer as families call them home. The sky is beginning to deepen into twilight, that magical hour when the world holds its breath between day and night. Jonah sits quietly, watching the horizon. He doesn't know yet that his life is about to change. He doesn't know yet about the journey that awaits him, but somewhere deep in his soul, there is a stirring, a gentle whisper. A soft calling that he can't quite name. Rest now, dear listener. Let your breathing match the rhythm of this story. Slow, steady, peaceful. You are here, and you are safe. And together we will watch as Jonah's story unfolds like a flower opening to the morning sun. The evening deepens around Jonah, and in the quiet of his heart, he begins to sense something. Not a loud voice, no. Nothing harsh or demanding. Rather, it's like the softest breeze that carries with it a knowing, an awareness, a gentle invitation. Go to Nineveh, the whisper seems to say. Go to that great city and speak to them with kindness. Jonah hears this and his heart begins to flutter, not with fear exactly, but with something more tender, a hesitation, an uncertainty. Nineveh. He knows of Nineveh. It is a vast city, far from here, a place of many people and many stories, a place that feels foreign to him, a place that feels too big. Have you ever felt that way, dear friend? Have you ever heard a soft calling in your own heart and thought, but I am too small for this. I am not ready. I don't know if I have what it takes. If you have, then you understand Jonah in this moment. He sits there as the first stars begin to appear in the darkening sky. The air grows cooler, softer. A gentle wind moves through the olive trees nearby, their silvery leaves whispering secrets to one another. Somewhere, a dove coos its evening song, settling into its nest for the night. Jonah wraps his cloak more tightly around himself and thinks. God, the source of all things, the breath of life, the great mystery, is calling him to Nineveh. But Nineveh is far away. Its people speak a different language, hold different customs. They don't know the ways that Jonah knows. And more than that, if Jonah is honest with himself, He's not sure he has the words they need to hear. He's not sure he's the right person for this task. What if I go and nothing changes? He wonders. What if my words fall like seeds on stone? What if I fail? These thoughts circle through his mind like birds returning to roost, round and round, settling nowhere. The night deepens. Above him, the stars multiply across the vast canvas of the sky. Each one a tiny light, but together they create a map, a guide, a reminder that even in darkness there is something luminous and true. Jonah knows in his deepest heart what he should do. He knows that when the divine whispers, there is love in that whisper. There is purpose. There is an invitation to become more than we thought we could be. But knowing and doing are sometimes oceans apart. And so, as the night settles fully around him, as the lamps in distant windows begin to dim one by one, as the world falls into its nightly slumber, Jonah makes a choice. A very human choice. A choice born not of defiance, but of fear. Not of rebellion, but of a deep, tender uncertainty. He will go, yes, but he will not go to Nineveh. Just for a while, he tells himself, just until I feel ready, just until I understand better. He will go in a different direction. He will travel to the coast, to the harbor of Joppa, and there he will find a ship sailing west, away from Nineveh, away from this calling that feels too large for his small heart to hold. As Jonah makes this decision, there is no thunder, no lightning, no divine anger. There is only the soft night, the gentle stars, and the quiet understanding that sometimes we run not because we don't care, but because we care too much and don't yet trust ourselves enough. Breathe with me now, dear listener, in and out, slowly, gently. Jonah rises from his rooftop perch. He moves through his home, gathering a few simple things. A traveling cloak, some bread wrapped in cloth, a small pouch of coins. His movements are slow, almost dreamlike, as if he's walking through water. Outside his window, the world is at peace. The night air is cool and soft against his skin. Somewhere, a night bird sings a sweet, haunting melody. And Jonah begins to walk. He walks through the sleeping streets of his town, his sandals making soft sounds against the ancient stones. He walks past homes where families sleep peacefully, where children dream their innocent dreams, where elderly grandparents breathe slowly in the dark. He walks until his town is behind him, until the familiar gives way to the unknown, until the landscape opens before him like a page in a story not yet written. The moon rises full and gentle, casting silver light across the path ahead. It illuminates the way toward Joppa, toward the sea, toward the ships that will carry him far from what he fears. And as Jonah walks through this peaceful night, perhaps God watches, not with anger, but with the patience of a loving parent who knows that sometimes we must take the long way home to truly understand where home is. Rest now in this image, dear one. The night is soft. The journey is just beginning. And even when we run from our calling, we are never truly alone. By dawn, Jonah reaches the coast. The sea stretches before him like liquid silk, reflecting the soft colors of sunrise, pale pinks and lavenders and the gentlest gold. The air here tastes of salt and possibility. Seabirds glide overhead, their wings catching the early light, their calls echoing across the water like prayers. The harbor of Joppa is waking slowly. Fishermen move along the docks, their movements practiced and peaceful. Nets are mended with patient hands. Boats bob gently in the morning tide, their masts swaying like tall reeds in a breeze. Jonah stands at the edge of the harbor, watching the water. The waves roll in with a soft, rhythmic sound. Shh. Shh, shh, like the sea is whispering secrets to the shore. The sound is hypnotic, soothing. It reminds him of his mother's voice when he was small, singing him to sleep. I can rest here, he thinks. I can find peace on the water. He walks among the ships until he finds one preparing to set sail. It's a merchant vessel, sturdy and weathered, with a kind-faced captain who asks no difficult questions. "We sail west," the captain says simply. "To Tarshish. There's room if you need passage." Jonah nods. He pays his fare with quiet hands, and then he boards the ship, feeling the gentle rock of the deck beneath his feet, feeling the vastness of the sea calling to him. The ship is humble but well kept. Its wooden planks are warm from the sun, ropes coil neatly along the sides, the sail is furled, waiting to catch the wind. Jonah finds a place near the back of the vessel, a small, sheltered spot where he can sit and watch the land recede as they depart. The captain calls out soft commands. The crew moves with practiced ease, raising the sail, untying ropes, pushing off from the dock. And slowly, peacefully, the ship begins to move. The harbor grows smaller behind them. Jonah watches as the familiar shore becomes a line, then a suggestion, then a memory. Out here on the water, everything feels different. The air is clearer. The sky seems bigger. The world's concerns feel smaller, farther away. The gentle rocking of the ship is like being cradled, forward and back, rise and fall. The rhythm is ancient, primal, deeply soothing. Jonah breathes in the salt air and feels something in his chest begin to loosen. Maybe this is what I needed, he thinks. Space, distance, time to think. The day passes peacefully. The sun tracks across the clear sky. The sea sparkles beneath it, each wave catching light like scattered diamonds. The crew works quietly, respectfully. These are men who know the sea, who respect her moods, who understand the gift of a calm day on the water. Jonah watches clouds drift overhead. He watches the horizon, that endless line where water meets sky. He watches seabirds follow the ship, hopeful for scraps of food. Their presence is companionable, gentle. As the afternoon deepens into evening, the colors of the world soften once more. The sun descends toward the western horizon, painting the sky in shades of amber and rose. The water mirrors these colors, turning the sea into a canvas of light. Jonah feels tired, not an anxious tired, but a deep soul-level weariness, the kind that comes from carrying something heavy for too long. He finds his small spot on the deck, lies down on a coil of rope, and pulls his cloak around himself. The ship rocks gently. The waves whisper their endless song. And Jonah's eyes begin to drift closed. Just rest, he tells himself. Just sleep for a while. And he does. He sleeps as the ship sails on. He sleeps as the stars emerge one by one. He sleeps as the moon rises again, casting silver paths across the dark water. But while Jonah sleeps, the sea begins to change. Not dramatically, not violently, but slowly, gradually, the wind begins to pick up. The waves grow a little taller. The sky, so clear before, begins to gather clouds that drift in from the deep places of the ocean. The crew notices. They've sailed these waters many times and they know the signs. But they're not afraid. They're simply watchful, attentive. They adjust the sail. They secure loose items. They speak in low, calm voices to one another. "A storm may be coming," one says softly. "Nothing we haven't weathered before," another replies, and they continue their work with steady hands. Below them, cradled in his makeshift bed, Jonah sleeps on. In his dreams, he sees things he can't quite name. Images of great cities, of multitudes of people, of words that glow like embers. He sees the horizon stretching forever. He sees birds flying in formations across endless skies. He sees his own heart, small and tender, being held in hands larger than the universe. The rocking of the ship grows more pronounced. The wind sings through the rigging, a low, wordless melody. And still, Jonah sleeps, peaceful and unaware, as the sea around him begins to dance. The storm, when it truly arrives, is not like storms you might imagine. There is no terror here, no violence. Rather, it's as if the sea itself is sighing, expressing something deep and ancient. The waves rise higher, yes, but they move with a kind of grace. The wind blows stronger, but it carries no malice. The ship rides these waves like a leaf on a stream, lifted up set down, lifted again. The crew works together seamlessly, their movements practiced and sure. And through it all, there's a strange sense of purpose, as if the sea itself is guiding them somewhere. Breathe deeply now, dear listener. Feel your own body rocking gently, as if you too are on that ship, forward and back, rise and fall. Let the motion soothe you. Let the rhythm carry you deeper into rest. Eventually, the captain makes his way to where Jonah sleeps. He kneels down beside him, places a gentle hand on his shoulder. "Friend," he says softly, "you should wake now. The sea is speaking, and we need all hands present." Jonah's eyes flutter open. For a moment, he's confused, disoriented. The world is moving around him. The deck is wet with spray. The sky is dark with clouds that glow softly in the moonlight. He sits up slowly, rubbing his eyes, and sees the crew gathered, looking at him with kind but questioning faces. "The sea has been calm until you came aboard," one of the sailors says gently. Perhaps there is something you need to tell us." And Jonah knows. In that moment, he knows. He has been running, and the sea has caught him, not to punish him, not to harm him, but to hold him accountable, gently, lovingly, the way the universe holds all of us accountable when we stray from our deepest truth. Jonah stands on the rocking deck, and for the first time in days, he feels completely present, completely awake, completely here. He looks at the faces of the crew surrounding him, honest faces, weathered by sun and sea, filled now with concern and curiosity. These are good men, and he has brought them into his story without meaning to. "I am running from a calling," Jonah says softly. His voice barely rises above the sound of the waves. "I was asked to go to Nineveh, to speak words of kindness and truth, and I said no. I came aboard this ship to escape, and now," he gestures at the sea around them, "now the waters are troubled because of me." The sailors look at one another. There is no judgment in their eyes, only understanding. They too know what it means to be afraid, to feel inadequate, to run from things that seem too big to face. "What should we do?" the captain asks, his voice kind. Jonah looks out at the moving water. The waves are tall but not terrifying. They roll and crest, catching moonlight, looking almost like living creatures, graceful, powerful, ancient. "Lower me into the sea," Jonah says quietly. "Let me go, and the waters will calm for you." The sailors shake their heads. "No," one says. "We won't do that. There must be another way." They try to row the ship toward shore. They try to adjust their course. They work together with determined hands, refusing to give up on Jonah, refusing to simply cast him away. But the sea continues its deep rhythmic dance. And finally, after trying everything they can think of, they understand that Jonah must do this. He must face the consequence of his choice, not as punishment, but as transformation. "We're sorry," the captain whispers to Jonah. "We don't want to do this." "I know," Jonah replies, "but sometimes we have to be willing to let go in order to truly be found." They help him to the edge of the ship. The water below looks dark and deep, but also strangely inviting, like the entrance to another world. Jonah takes a breath, a long, slow, surrendering breath, and then he steps off the edge. He falls softly through the air, and then the water receives him. It's neither cold nor warm. It simply is. He sinks down, down, down through the layers of the sea, and as he does, he feels something unexpected. Peace. The water holds him like an embrace. Above, he can see the soft glow of the moonlight filtering down through the surface. Below, there is only mystery. Deep, dark, infinite mystery. His lungs begin to burn. His body understands that this is not where humans belong. And just as he thinks this might be his ending, he feels something, presence. Something vast is approaching through the water, something ancient and enormous. But Jonah doesn't feel afraid. Instead, he feels a strange sense of recognition, as if whatever is coming has been waiting for him all along. The great fish, for that is what we'll call it, emerges from the depths like a living temple. But this is not a monster, dear listener. This is not a predator. This is something else entirely. Imagine instead a creature of immense gentleness, a being so large that it contains within itself entire worlds. Its skin is smooth and glowing with a soft bioluminescent light, blues and greens and purples that pulse gently like a heartbeat. Its eyes, if it has eyes, are kind. The fish opens its mouth and it's like a doorway opening. Jonah feels himself drawn forward, not by force, but by invitation. He passes through that opening and he finds himself in a space unlike anything he's ever known. Inside the fish, everything is soft, quiet, and luminous. The walls glow with gentle light, as if he's inside a living lantern. It's warm here, not hot, but womb warm, the temperature of safety and return. The space curves around him protectively. He can breathe here. Somehow, impossibly, he can breathe. Jonah realizes he is not drowning. He's not dying. He is being held. Time works differently in this place. Minutes might be hours. Hours might be days. It doesn't matter. What matters is that here, finally, Jonah is still. Here, finally, he cannot run. He sits down, or perhaps he floats, in this gentle, glowing space. And for the first time since he heard the calling, he allows himself to truly feel everything he's been carrying. The fear, the inadequacy, the doubt, the hope, the longing to be more than he is, the terror of failing, the deeper terror of succeeding and discovering that even his success isn't enough. All of it rises to the surface, and he feels it fully. Tears come, mixing with the water around him. And it's okay. Here, in this sacred space, everything is allowed. Every feeling is welcome. The fish, this great gentle creature, carries him through the deep. Jonah can sense the movement, slow and steady, like the rocking of a cradle, can feel the current flowing past, can sense the fish's enormous heartbeat resonating through the space like a drum, like a prayer, like the pulse of the universe itself. And in the quietness, in the stillness, in the soft glow of this impossible sanctuary, Jonah begins to pray. Not with formal words, not with rehearsed speeches, but with the raw, honest language of his heart. I am here, he says to the divine. I am here in the deepest place. I am here in my fear and my running and my smallness. I am here, and I am finally ready to listen. I thought I wasn't enough, he continues. I thought my words wouldn't matter. I thought I would fail. But maybe that was never the point. Maybe the point was just to show up, to try, to trust. I don't know how to speak to a whole city, he admits. I don't know how to change hearts. I don't even know how to change my own heart. But if you're asking me to go, if you're willing to carry me when I cannot carry myself, then yes, I will go. The space around him seems to brighten slightly, as if in response, as if the fish itself is pleased, or perhaps as if the divine is smiling. Jonah lies back, or floats, in the gentle light. He closes his eyes and rests. Really rests. The kind of rest that comes only after surrender, only after we stop fighting what is and start embracing what could be. Time passes, how much time he doesn't know, but he sleeps the deepest sleep of his life here in this living sanctuary. He dreams dreams of light and water and words that glow. He dreams of cities full of people, each one carrying their own small fears, their own tender hopes. He dreams of the universe speaking one great gentle yes to everything that lives. When he wakes, and he doesn't know how he knows this, he understands that it's time to leave this sacred space, time to be born again into the world. The fish knows too. Slowly, gently, the great creature begins to rise, up through the layers of the sea, up toward the light, up toward the surface where air and water meet. Jonah feels the movement like an escalation toward something new. His heart quickens, but not with fear, with anticipation, with readiness. The light above grows brighter. The water around him begins to change texture, and then, with a great gentle exhale, the fish releases him. Jonah feels himself moving forward through that same doorway he entered, out into the open sea. He breaks through the surface of the water, gasping, alive, reborn. The fish, that magnificent, impossible, holy creature, surfaces briefly beside him. For just a moment, Jonah sees it in full daylight, sees the beauty and strangeness and perfect rightness of it. And then it dives again, down into the depths, its task complete. "Thank you," Jonah whispers to the water. And the waves, receding, seem to whisper back, "You're welcome." The waves carry Jonah gently, patiently toward shore. He doesn't need to swim, not really. He simply needs to trust that the water will bring him home. And it does. He feels sand beneath his feet, feels the earth solid and real under him, drags himself the last few feet out of the waves, and collapses onto the beach, breathing hard, alive, utterly transformed. For a long moment, he simply lies there, feeling the sun on his skin, feeling the sand warm beneath him, feeling his own heartbeat strong and steady in his chest. He is alive. He is here. He is new. The sun is warm, not harsh, but gentle, like a blessing. It dries his clothes, warms his bones, fills him with light from the outside in. The sky above is the clearest blue he's ever seen, without a single cloud. The water behind him continues its eternal song, shh, 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 as if singing him awake. Jonah sits up slowly. He looks out at the sea, that vast, mysterious teacher. He looks at the horizon, that place where earth meets sky, where the known meets the unknown. "I understand now," he says aloud. The sea doesn't answer in words, but a gentle wave rolls up the sand and touches his feet, and it feels like agreement, like affirmation, like love. Jonah stands. His legs are shaky at first, but they hold him. He brushes sand from his clothes and looks around. The beach stretches in both directions, pristine and peaceful. In the distance, he can see the rise of land, the suggestion of roads, the smoke of distant cooking fires. Somewhere beyond those hills lies Nineveh. And this time, Jonah will go. Not because he has to, not out of fear or obligation, but because he chooses to. Because he has been carried through the depths and returned to the light, and he knows now that he is not alone in this task. He has never been alone. He begins to walk up the beach, away from the water, toward the land. Each step feels significant, purposeful. Each step is a choice to move forward, to trust, to become the person he is meant to be. As he walks, he reflects on his journey, the running, the ship, the sea, the fish, that sacred, impossible space inside the belly of grace where he learned to be still. He thinks about the sailors who showed him such kindness. He hopes they made it safely to port. He hopes they understood that their compassion mattered, that their willingness to see him as a fellow human being rather than a problem was part of what saved him. He thinks about the God who called him, who didn't abandon him when he ran, who instead met him in the deepest, darkest place and said, "I'm here too, even here, especially here." And he thinks about himself, his own fear, his own doubt, his own tender human heart that wants so badly to be enough. I am enough, he realizes. Not because I'm perfect, not because I have all the answers, but because I'm willing to show up, because I'm willing to try, because I'm willing to speak the truth as I understand it and trust that truth to do its work. The landscape around him is beautiful. Wildflowers dot the hillsides, small bursts of yellow and purple and white. Birds sing in the bushes. The air smells of earth and growing things. Everything feels alive, vibrant, full of possibility. Jonah walks for a long time, but he doesn't feel tired. If anything, he feels energized, renewed, as if that time in the fish was not just a lesson but a restoration, a return to his truest self. By the time the sun begins to descend toward the western horizon, painting the sky in soft oranges and pinks, Jonah has reached a small village. People there greet him with warm smiles and friendly nods. They offer him food, bread and olives and cheese. They offer him a place to rest for the night. He accepts gratefully. And that night, sleeping in a borrowed bed, looking up through a window at the stars emerging one by one, Jonah feels at peace. Tomorrow, he will continue toward Nineveh. Tomorrow, he will begin the work he was called to do. But tonight, he simply rests in the knowledge that he has been found, he has been carried, he has been loved through the journey. And that is enough. That is everything. The days that follow are gentle ones. Jonah travels at a steady pace, never rushing, always present to each moment. He passes through valleys and over hills, through small towns and open countryside. And everywhere he goes, he notices things he never noticed before. The way morning light catches on spider webs, turning them to strings of diamonds, the sound of children laughing as they play in the dust, the smell of bread baking drifting from open doorways, the faces of old people sitting in the shade, their expressions soft with memory and wisdom. All of it matters. All of it is sacred. All of it is part of the great interconnected web of life. And then, one morning, he crests a hill and sees it. Nineveh. The city spreads out before him like a dream. It's vast, yes, much larger than any city Jonah has seen before, but it's also beautiful. White walls catch the sunlight. Gardens tumble over rooftops. Smoke rises from countless hearths. And even from here, Jonah can sense the life pulsing within those walls. Thousands upon thousands of people, each one living their own story, each one carrying their own joys and sorrows. His heart swells. Not with fear this time, but with something else. Compassion, maybe, or recognition. These are his people too, even if they speak different words and pray different prayers. They are human, just like him. They are tender and flawed and full of longing, just like him. He descends the hill and approaches the city gates. The gates are open, welcoming. Merchants pass through with carts full of goods. Travelers come and go. Children play in the shadows of the great walls. Guards stand watch, but their faces are kind. Jonah passes through the gates, and the city swallows him in the gentlest way. The streets are busy but not chaotic. People move with purpose but not haste. There's music drifting from an open window, someone playing a flute, the melody sweet and slightly sad. There's the sound of conversation, of laughter, of life unfolding in 1,000 small moments. Jonah walks through the streets, simply observing at first. He wants to understand these people before he speaks to them. He wants to see them, really see them. He sees merchants in the marketplace, calling out their wares with practiced voices. He sees mothers with babies strapped to their backs, shopping for vegetables. He sees craftsmen in their workshops, hands busy with pottery or metalwork or weaving. He sees elders gathered in the shade, discussing matters both profound and mundane. And everywhere, he sees the same thing. People trying their best. People wanting to be good, to be happy, to be safe. People who are sometimes selfish and sometimes generous, sometimes petty and sometimes profound. People who are, in other words, exactly like people everywhere. After 3 days of walking and watching, Jonah knows what he needs to say. He finds a place in the city square where many paths converge, where people naturally gather. He stands there, not elevated, not performing, just standing as one person among many. And he begins to speak. His voice is soft at first, but it carries. He doesn't shout. He doesn't threaten. He simply shares what he has learned. Friends, he says, and that word alone, friends, causes people to pause, to turn, to listen. I have come from far away to share something with you, not to judge you, not to condemn you, but to remind you of something you already know in your deepest hearts. More people begin to gather. They form a loose circle around him, curious, open. We are all capable of hurting one another, Jonah continues. We are all capable of selfishness, of cruelty, of forgetting what matters most. But we are also capable of great love, of profound kindness, of changing direction when we realize we've lost our way. A woman in the crowd nods slowly. An old man's eyes fill with tears. The divine, whatever name you call the mystery by, is not waiting to punish you, Jonah says. The divine is hoping you'll remember who you really are, hoping you'll turn back toward the light, hoping you'll choose each day to be a little more kind, a little more honest, a little more true. He pauses, letting the words settle. I know this, he says, because I ran from my own calling. I ran from what I was meant to do because I was afraid. And the universe met me in my running, not with anger, but with grace. I was carried through the deepest waters and brought back to try again. And if that kind of mercy exists for me, it exists for you too. It exists for all of us. The crowd is silent now. Not an uncomfortable silence, but a reverent one. The kind of silence that holds truth like a cupped hand holds water. So, Jonah says gently, what will you choose? Will you continue as you've been? Or will you turn, even just a little, toward love? He doesn't say anything more. He doesn't need to. The words have done their work. Slowly, people begin to respond. Some nod, some wipe their eyes. Some turn to the person next to them and clasp their hand. Some simply stand quietly, letting the message sink deep into their hearts. And over the days that follow, something shifts in Nineveh. It's subtle, gentle, but it's real. People are kinder to one another. Arguments are resolved more peacefully. The marketplace becomes a place of greater fairness. Parents speak more gently to their children. Strangers offer help more freely. It's not perfect. It's never perfect. But it's better. And sometimes, better is a kind of miracle all its own. Jonah watches this transformation with quiet wonder. He didn't do this alone. The people of Nineveh did this. They chose it. They chose to turn, to change, to become more fully themselves. And Jonah understands finally what his calling was really about. It wasn't about him at all. It was about showing up, speaking truth, and trusting the people to do the rest. It was about being a small part of something much larger than himself, the great unfolding of compassion and grace that moves through the world like wind through wheat fields, invisible but undeniable. He has done what he was called to do, and it is good. Dear friend, our story is drawing to a close now. Jonah's journey is complete, or at least this chapter of it is. And as we prepare to part ways for the night, I want to walk with you a little longer through the landscape of this tale to help you settle into the deepest rest. Imagine Jonah now, after the work is done. He leaves the city of Nineveh one morning at dawn. The gates stand open behind him, and he can hear the city waking, the sounds of a new day beginning, of people starting their lives again with a little more awareness, a little more kindness. He walks out into the countryside and finds a hill overlooking the valley. A tree grows there, offering shade. Jonah sits beneath that tree, leaning back against its sturdy trunk, and simply watches. The sun rises fully, spilling golden light across the land. Birds are singing their morning songs. The air is fresh and cool and carries the scent of wild herbs. In the distance, Nineveh gleams white in the sunlight, beautiful and alive. Jonah smiles. It's a soft smile, a smile of peace. He has learned so much on this journey. He has learned that running from our calling doesn't mean we're bad. It just means we're human. He has learned that the universe is patient with us, endlessly patient, willing to meet us in the depths and carry us back to the light. He has learned that transformation is always possible, always if we're willing to turn even just a little bit toward love. And he has learned something else, something even more fundamental, that we are never alone. Even in the darkest waters, even in the belly of the impossible, even when we feel small and lost and afraid, we are held, we are carried, we are loved. Take a breath with me now, dear listener. A deep, full breath. Draw in peace. Release any remaining tension. You too have been on a journey today. You too have carried burdens and questions and fears. And now, like Jonah on his hillside, it's time to rest. Let your body soften completely. Feel the surface beneath you, supporting you fully. You don't have to hold yourself up. You can release that effort. You can trust that you are held. Let your mind begin to drift like a leaf on a gentle stream. Thoughts may float by, and that's okay. You don't need to grab them or follow them. Just let them pass, soft and slow, dissolving like mist in morning sun. Think of Jonah beneath his tree, at peace. Think of the fish, swimming through deep waters, carrying its precious cargo safely home. Think of the sea itself, vast and ancient and gentle, rocking all things in its eternal rhythm. You are like Jonah, dear one. You have been through deep waters. You have questioned and struggled and sometimes run from what seemed too hard to face. But you are still here. You are still breathing. You are still becoming. And like Jonah, you are allowed to rest now. You are allowed to lay down the weight of the day. You are allowed to trust that tomorrow will take care of itself, that the universe is still unfolding exactly as it should, that your part in the great story is enough, more than enough. Feel yourself sinking deeper into rest now, deeper into peace, deeper into the soft, welcoming darkness of sleep. Imagine that you are floating in warm, gentle water. The water holds you completely. It supports every part of you. You don't have to try, don't have to do anything. You simply float, cradled, safe, perfectly held. The water is glowing softly, just like the inside of the great fish. Blues and greens and purples pulse gently around you. The light is alive but calm. It's like being inside a living lullaby, a visible prayer, a luminous embrace. You are so safe here, so perfectly, completely safe. Above you, if you look up through the water, you can see stars. They shimmer and dance through the gentle waves. Each one is a point of light in the darkness. Each one is a promise. Each one says, you are not alone. You are loved. You are exactly where you need to be. Let those words wash over you now, soft as water, warm as sunlight. You are not alone. You are loved. You are exactly where you need to be. Your breathing is slow now, so slow and deep and peaceful. Each breath is a wave rolling to shore. Each breath is a prayer. Each breath is a surrender. And as you breathe, imagine that the divine, whatever you understand that to mean, is breathing with you. That your breath and the breath of the universe are one and the same. That you are participating in something ancient and holy and simple, the rhythm of life itself. In and out, rise and fall, here and now. The world outside this moment can wait. The worries, the tasks, the questions, all of it can wait until morning. Right now, there's only this, the softness of rest, the gentleness of night, the deep permission to simply be. You have done enough today. You have been enough today. You are enough just as you are right now in this very moment. Let that truth sink deep into your bones. You are enough. You don't have to prove anything, achieve anything, become anything. You are already whole. You are already worthy. You are already loved. Feel yourself settling now, like sand settling to the bottom of a clear pool. Everything that was stirred up, everything that was swirling, it's all settling down, down, down into stillness. Your body is heavy and relaxed. Your mind is quiet and clear. Your heart is open and at peace. You are like Jonah, finally still, finally resting, finally home. And like Jonah, you will wake in the morning transformed, not because you did anything to earn it, but simply because you were willing to make the journey, because you were willing to face the depths, because you were willing to surrender and trust and be carried. Sleep now, dear friend. Sleep deeply and peacefully. Sleep knowing that you are held, you are safe, you are loved beyond measure. The great fish is still out there, swimming through the deep waters of the world, ready to catch anyone who falls, ready to carry anyone who needs to be carried home. And you are wrapped in the gentlest arms of grace. You are cradled in the softest hands of love. You are resting in the infinite heart of all that is. Let go now. completely, fully, entirely. Let go and let yourself be carried into the deep, peaceful waters of sleep. The stars are watching over you. The universe is breathing with you. The divine is holding you close. And all is well. All is so deeply, perfectly well. Rest now. Rest and dream. Dream of gentle seas and kind fish and warm sunlight and new beginnings. Dream of transformation. Dream of second chances. Dream of grace. And know that when you wake, you will wake renewed, just as Jonah did on that beach. You will wake ready to face your own Nineveh, whatever that means for you. You will wake knowing that you are not alone, that you are loved, that you are enough. But for now, rest deeply, softly, completely. Shh, shh, shh. The waves are singing you to sleep. Shh, shh, shh. The night is soft and kind. Shh, shh, shh. You are safe. You are home. You are at peace. Sleep well, dear one. Sleep well, and may your dreams be filled with light.